Alrighty, good morning or good day, everybody. Happy Monday. It is currently at time, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's see who is here. Lucas, you've got the first item, so please go ahead and kick us off.
Hey, everybody. My internet's not great today, so if I cut out, just continue reading the agenda. So I opened an issue on providing a generic analyzer for our custom security scans. This has kind of been an ongoing issue that's come up a couple of times in conversations, and I wanted to get some feedback on this idea. So instead of having to update our analyzers and change or support new language every time a use case comes up, I think that we should consider a more generic solution. So basically a more generic kind of just a regex engine analyzer. So certain customers can provide like a regex rule set and just run their, essentially use our custom analyzer to run their own scans for any patterns they detect. So I thought it was kind of an interesting idea and something that would be worth exploring. So I encourage people to take a look at that one. And Olivia, you have the next point if you're here.
Yeah, thanks. This is not 100% clear right now. I think the documentation is being improved on this. But if you use some topic labels like SAS, DAS, dependency scanning, security dashboard, etc., there are some automation today to help improving the labeling. And if you just add the SAS, for example, if you just add the SAS label to your issue or merge request, the bot will pass on this issue and will add some group label and stage label based on that. So there are some really nice automation. And if you don't do that, the issue might be labeled within the wrong group. It's not a big issue, but it will just be more accurate and will improve the labeling. So please think about using those. And again, it's not super clear right now, so I think there will be some incoming improvement to make it clear what are the topic labels. Because if you, for example, are adding something like GitLab runner, because you think you are discussing something that will be impacting the GitLab runner, this might actually trigger the bot to add the stage label from a different team because it's based on that label. So we need to make a better job at making clear what is implied by adding some labels. So next one is Victor.
Okay, so we had already this discussion on Slack. I have just expanded it here. So my concern is about our SP alerts channel, which has gotten pretty noisy, and I feel that we don't pay much attention to it because, like, we know that these pipelines constantly failing on expectations that are not updated on test projects, and some other cases on the wiki I spotted. Java Maven, I guess, it failed because of some version mismatch during the installation, the dependencies installation step. So I suggest us to deal with it somehow. I mean, from the organizational perspective, because if we consider it not so critical, when we get a new message on this channel, we should like downscale the importance of this channel or change the maintenance routine for this. But if you consider it critical, we should have maybe a rotation for the maintenance of this channel. I also agree with Olivier that this is a recurrent topic of leveraging the multi-project pipelines for triggering builds in these test projects when the upstream analyzer project is updated. I have not investigated yet on the status of multi-project pipelines. I plan to do this after this meeting. But still, feel free to express your thoughts and your suggestions on this. And maybe I'm the one who believes this is a problem that we don't pay much attention to this channel right now.
Just to mention that Chan is actually currently working on this. We have an issue to set up to automatically trigger those pipeline from the main project. I need to review the merge request, but we have a POC to whether use a multi-project pipeline or something more in-house, like what we've done for license management. So we need to figure out what's the best approach, but this should help avoiding the state of having stale QA test projects, because this is mainly the issue. We change the main project and we don't go to all the test project to update expectation. And so next time something is running there, it's broken. Instead, we should be sure that we always maintain them. So as soon as we are putting changes in the main project, we need to run the pipeline on all the test projects and make sure the expectations are up to date there. By automating this, it will be more straightforward. And another annoying thing that I don't think we can configure is that we are getting notification in the SP alert channel for all branches, which is a bit annoying because when you're working and adding a new and changing code and you need new expectation, this will trigger pipeline and will trigger failure when you have to update expectation. And if you have some testing there, you will trigger several notifications, whereas it's not relevant because it's not an alert per se. So we maybe need to find a way if we can tweak the notification system to only run on the master branch and all the freeze branches. Again, I think we're missing time to address those issues. Chan is working on this as part of the iteration because it was part of his onboarding issues, but maybe we should push more as engineering manager for those more maintenance tasks to be part of the iteration.
I like the idea of investigating the possible reduction of the amount of the alerts to only master branch and freeze branches. I guess it could be like a good start for an MVC to deal with this problem. Speaking about the duties of a release manager, I feel that you guys already burdened with too many responsibilities, and this task will be another task on your plate. So I believe it should be automated as much as possible. So, okay, to build some consensus here, I will add a to-do on myself to investigate on your suggestion about limiting the alerts to master and freeze branches. Okay, I guess we don't have any more items.
Real quick, because I'm a little bit confused. It sounds like we got two people chasing the same problem. So Chan's working this part of this, and Victor, you got another part of this. So do we have two people chasing a solution to the same problem, or are they orthogonal or related?
They are just related, but it's not the same issue. Chan is working on making sure we run a pipeline on the test project each time we are putting changes in the main project. Mm-hmm. But this won't have any impact on notifications, which Victor will be really looking closely at how we can tune the notifications. So whatever the way we're triggering the pipelines, when they fail, we just want to notify the channel for some specific branches.
Okay. Victor, do you happen to have an issue with what you're working on?
What do you mean?
So you're putting in a bot, you've gotten some notifications, and now we're adding a whole lot of requirements. Is there an issue tracking what you're actually doing?
I see. No, it's not. I will create one.
Please do. Yeah. That way we know what's gone in, and that way we can, because there's a lot of discussion here. I want to make sure that we're not losing it, and that we know what's gone in and can track it later.
Of course.
And just to be very quick in what this is for people who are unfamiliar with SP alerts, it is a Slack channel where we get notified when the build fails on a number of our test projects. This channel currently exists, and there's probably like 8 people in it. And when we see a failure in the build, then we go fix it. The issue is that we don't always do that because we all suffer warning fatigue from regular build failures. And that's what we're working on solving. But feel free to jump in and check it out if you want SP alerts.
Love more alerts. All right. Alrighty. Okay. Any other conversation on this? And I see Ross has added a last minute addition to the agenda. But before we move to Ross, any more conversation on this topic?
Yeah, there is also some scheduled pipeline currently. So you might see some alerts popping up on the chat, even if nobody has put changes or triggering any pipeline on their own. We should also, I think there is an issue, I would check for that, to make sure there is a scheduled pipeline, a daily scheduled pipeline on all the test projects to regularly check nothing is broken, because we can have updates from the outside that could trigger changes in our pipeline. So this is why sometimes it's failing. But again, it should be a very, very specific case. Like we just added a new vulnerability in the database. So it's adding a new vulnerability in the project, which is a real life example of a new vulnerability being reported. So this is a use case where nobody is specifically assigned to update the QA test project. We're just popping them in the channel and someone is taking the point and updating things. But it's one edge case, let's say.
Okay. Ross, you're up.
I think it's been brought up before, but in the project dropdown on the security dashboard, if you're going to filter it by project, you might see multiple community edition or enterprise editions entries. Is there a ticket for that? And that okay, that was what I was wondering, if they're forks. So should the forks show up? Is a follow-up question, because we do have an open issue for changing how we pull in those projects. So that would be good to know if pulling those forks is the correct behavior or not.
I was going to type it, I'll just verbalize. If you fork a project into the same group, then it's just a project within the group. If you fork it into a separate namespace, then I don't believe it would show up currently.
Okay.
I think that would be a bit too smart to exclude a fork that was in the same group.
Exactly that.
So maybe we just need to encourage people to stop forking into that group for versions of ELF CE or E.
Okay. That answers that question. I'll note that in the ticket so whoever picks it up isn't confused by that. Thanks. The end.
All right. Last call. Anything, any other item people would like to discuss, since we have a few minutes left? Silence being interpreted as nothing. Nope. Okay, sorry.
I totally forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to break up again, people. I'm sorry. Now, this has been raised several times, and it is time to do that. We will break the Slack channel down into subgroups. I should have done that the last week, yeah, but there was a lot of people away, and me too. So I prefer to announce that in the weekly before changing the groups. So raise your hand if you're against that, but it's been long discussed, and maybe we just have to tweak the naming. I try to come up with something that best address everybody's needs. So we are likely to keep one section level channel for secure, and then we will have one specific channel for each group. So 2 groups or 3 groups? Here's the question.
My argument is go ahead and split it to 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do it once and be done with it. All right. Does anybody have a preference on what the timing of this during this week? Okay. So when Olivier wants to hit the button on the timer and blow everything up, he can. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I won't just be archiving this channel. Sorry. I will probably just rename it to S secure and create new ones for each group. And the good thing is that as S might stand for section or stage, people will be confused, but we don't care because in secure section, we only have secure stage.
But I guess we don't have stage channels, or do we?
I think the ones where as a current guideline was no stage channel, but this might change. We're iterating. We are testing with that. We'll see how it goes. But we agree that we need a common place cross group to discuss things that impact the whole stage or section.
Yeah, but it should be a much quieter one that only contains that type of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so probably this afternoon or tomorrow for me. So this will happen soon.
Righty. All right, so with me, one final request, backlog grooming. Please, everybody, make this a priority this week, or please stay on top of it. Let's continue to help ourselves. There are quite a number of items that are slated for 12.2 that have no weight associated with them. Let's try to make that a part of our weekly workflow. That is my plea. It'll become something that we'll become more attentive to in the coming weeks. And with that request, I'll go ahead and close out this conversation. So thank you, everybody, for your time and your attention. And well, may the force be with us always. And we'll talk again later this week. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.